Everything I do is magic. Being black is beautiful. Yeah.
Microphone
sure
check,
so
1, 2.
Look. Michael Jackson the shoes, Barack Obama the jewels. Uncle Whippy the cool, with a Serena or two. Hey, the sick is the flu, BB can give them the blues. Jay and Diddy the moves, ain't no way I can lose. Pulling up, looking like black magic, pulling up, feeling like black magic, pulling up, looking like black magic, pulling up.
One time for everybody checking in with us right now.
I swear on my grandma, I'm kicking this shit from the soul, they not ready for this. I'm from under the bottom, with the only shot that you get is from rifles and pistols. Living life like it's good times, but we didn't have a penny though. Blowing up down the mic like I'm JJ. Used to hoop with LaMarcus and Baby. Now we plot every day on the payday. Get that bag, that big bag, and my bitch want to hurt, man. Every day scheming and rubbing my hands together like I'm Birdman. I want me 22 million, put that on the house.
We're live on Black with No Chaser. Also live on the Nightcap Knowledge.
Hard work, that's what I'm about. Look, a nigga really head first. Nigga making play, making bread work. Nigga sleep and get them out the bed first. Wanna see result, do the leg work. Busy overthinking, make your head hurt. You don't overcome if you ain't scared first. Gotta keep it wavy. Niggas be fugazi, can't be acting lazy. Gotta feed them babies, gotta feed them babies. Michael Jackson the shoes, Barack Obama the jewels. Uncle Whippy the cool, with a Serena or two. Hey, the sick is the flu, BB can give them the blues. Jay and Diddy the moves, ain't no way I can lose. Pulling up, looking like black magic, pulling up, feeling like black magic, pulling up, looking like black magic, pulling up, looking like black magic. Girl, that's young 4-5, say you don't know him, he on fire. Go harder than James, gon' talk this shit like Richard Pryor. Put purpose on my verses, keep my Angelo like Maya. Yo, Muhammad Ali, I'm the greatest, I'm killing this shit like OJ, get away with it. Young ate a baby when real was real. I'm not a flop, I got skills for real. Didn't have my daddy around as a youngin', so I looked up to Uncle Phil and Bill.
One time for everybody checking in with us, this is Nightcap Knowledge. We'll be going over the election.
Black magic, yeah. Gotta keep coming strong, gotta kick down them doors. Struggles and bad days, don't wanna see them no more. Wouldn't take it back, cause it's part of my story. Tell the devil get back, time for me to show the world my glory. For real. Michael Jackson the shoes, Barack Obama the jewels. Uncle Whippy the cool, with a Serena or two. Hey, the sick is the flu, BB can give them the blues.
We'll have a couple of guests joining us.
Ain't no way I can lose. Pulling up, looking like
but until then,
black magic,
you got your host,
like
Mr. Mac and DJ George Chuck.
Pulling up, looking like black magic, pulling up, looking like black magic,
We appreciate y'all for checking in with us. Share this right now. Invite somebody. Want to say hello to Kiki Cooper. What's up, Kiki? Put some of that black magic in our comments. This is Nightcap Knowledge. The magic is ours now. The magic is ours forever. Let's get to that Mississippi magic.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Look, I'm happy to be a part of your history. It's these feelings that always happen to get to me instantly. I start thinking, projecting happiness mentally, like me on the ticket and you excited to get to me. Who the greatest? They mention me, and I'm their biggest fan. Always known to bring that bounce like I'm Timberland. They say they see me getting bigger, ain't that been the plan? Been across the nation and rocked. I'm Jackson's Jigger, man.
Rock out to these tunes with us. Put something in the comments. DJ George Chuck talking to you right now. That track right there is Mississippi Magic.
Never settle land, anxious I could never be. If you ain't all in, the best you could do is let me free. Cause either way, greatness in my path, get some money just to split with my staff. Homie, all I need is light, camera, action. You bring the energy and I can bring the passion. Give me the sound and the stage, make it happy. This that Mississippi magic. All I need is lights, camera, action.
Go ahead and share it. Share it in the comments.
I can bring the passion.
Share it in your Facebook group, Messenger, all of that. Let's go.
This that Mississippi magic.
Okay, Mississippi monster, writing like I'm a prodigy. Businessman first, and I don't care for the apologies. My name in the rafters, God does favors, and my reputation real cold like Lawrence Taylor. My flow sick, already know this. I'm the lotus. Michael Jordan flu game, my skills still focus. Simply put, I'm Mississippi, that's personified. 16 balls from me will get them nullified. Jacktown legend had the juice since grade school. And please don't make moves unless you really getting paid to.
All right, let's get everybody in here.
Me nothing really phase you, cause life been hard, baby.
What's up, Miggity Mac?
I'm wearing the crown, this is my city. Point blank, period. Ain't nobody with me. Joking in my mindset, Batman in my spirit. Put it on the flash so that my real.
All I need is lights.
All we need is lights, camera, action.
You bring the energy and
Give me
I
some
can
of them
bring the
horns.
passion. Give me the sound and
work
the
on that.
stage, make it happen. This that Mississippi magic.
Magic. That's it. It's magic. It's Tuesday. The magic is ours, and it will always be ours. And we're gonna go straight into it. Mac, what you got going on over there? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good. I mean, I think we got a good tire going on right now.
I don't hear you.
Huh?
It's unmuted. You make sure you plugged in or on.
Yeah, I'm good.
Can you hear? I imagine you can hear me.
Yep.
All right. If you're just checking in with us, it is the last day that you were able to vote. Polls closed in Mississippi about 2 hours ago. One of the last precincts that I went to check in with had a line that curved through the parking lot like a garter snake in the backyard, sitting on a brick sunning. So I hope everybody had the chance to go and express themselves in the way that they would, in the manner of casting your vote. Mac, can you jump in and see if I got you there?
Check. You got me?
No, I don't have you. Let me double check something on my end to make sure. Audio. Let's see. How about now?
Yo.
Yeah. All right, I got you now. I got you.
All
right, man. So look, check it out, man. What you got going, man? How you been? How you feeling?
Man, we hit the ground running today. We need Sabir on this call because Sabir has been doing him and his crew down in Hattiesburg have been doing a great job at getting the message out and coordinating transportation. We've had a lot of calls today.
You want to get on? I saw the calendar. We did our part down here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast with getting folks to the polls, and then Mac, you were in the Delta and Central Mississippi, right?
Right. We had by 12:45 today. The gentleman that was in Aberdeen had already taken about 46 people to the polls.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: how many do you think we did like statewide, man?
I don't know. I mean, and actually those numbers will come from Sabir. I know locally we got a lot of calls locally. One thing I did find out that we talk about before is the recap and evaluation.
Yeah.
One of the things we were talking about when we was getting folks to register to vote, we asking people to register where you live. And we saw a lot of people that were registered to vote, but they no longer live in that area. So, right. So you might live in Terry now, but you vote in the Queens, or you might live, I would say Northeast Jackson, something like that, right? So you never change your voting registration. You never change your address, but then the time frame in which you want to go vote. And so in taking that time to, towards transportation, you're fighting 5 o'clock traffic one way, and then you're fighting to get back, trying to get folks back to the polls before they close. We I think this year was really good. We had a lot of professionals on board for us transportation pieces. We have been expressing, encouraging folks to do absentee. Also call the circuit clerk's office. Make sure that your name is on the
Right,
roll.
right.
We had a couple of those problems that came through us, and we referred them over to election protection where people's name were not on the actual roll. So in those things, what you see?
I see Josh.
Oh,
I got him backstage, but he back there feeding his face, and I just want to say that for the public and everybody on Facebook to hear. We appreciate everybody that's tuning in from Black with No Chaser and the Nightcap Knowledge page. We have a couple of guests tonight. I see Dan back there as well. Dan is not a guest, but I guess
Dan is with Josh.
Yeah, but Dan is with Josh. We've also invited my partners from the other podcast that I do mixed messages from, the Doghouse. They'll be chiming in at some point tonight, hopefully. But just to be a asshole about it, let me bring Josh on while he got his mouth full.
Oh man, that's cat. That's real cat.
Hey man, Josh, they know that you eat food.
That's not cat on my part. It's 9 o'clock at night. Having an earlier show.
Right.
We talking about
Nightcap.
It's cat on
Nightcap. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm terrible for that. In the phrases of Josh, that would mean that I am a terrible friend and good at the same time.
It's all good. I love y'all anyway. Because this is the only Zoom call out of all the Zoom calls I can be on. Or is this Zoom? This is StreamYard. My bad.
Yeah.
Shout out to the good people at StreamYard. If we're still doing advertising and marketing, I'm a little ratchet. I am a little ratchet. I was hungry, and Mac was talking about all of the good work. I was like, this is my opportunity to at least put one taco in my mouth because what's most important is not election day; it's Taco Tuesday.
Hey, so for the record, we did taco spaghetti, so it was still Taco Tuesday, and that taco spaghetti was fire. Like Shallow, she be making some good stuff, bro. Taco spaghetti, man, fire.
So before we get into some depths, and I want to, if Mo Diggity is seeing this his shirt.
Yeah, shout out to Alpha 2 Omega Gifts over there in Birmingham, Alabama.
Jackson, so.
Croom.
Yeah, Croom checking in with us. And then we also have one of my classmates, Mac and I, Mr. Kia Lyman. Yeah. And we got the Sigmas and the Qs checking in with us tonight.
Apache. What's up, Apache?
Yeah, Jimmy Rich checking in. And then look, my partner from the mixed messages from the Doghouse podcast, Jorge Reyes. Checking in.
Tacos every day.
Every day. I can eat tacos every day. That's an everyday dish.
I eat tacos every day. But it's specifically comfort food in some really troubling times. In a very social distancing fashion. I got two more folks here. Two of my former interns when I was national organizer for U.S. Labor Against the War, Jamil Johnson and Terriana Bailey. So they're gonna be running the numbers to me. Are we doing that? Are we?
Yeah, we're doing it, and I was actually about to pull that tab up. We're doing that as well. I'm sipping some tea tonight. I got some ginseng, turmeric, peppermint tea.
That's
yeah. Now, he got his Jack Apple. Shout out to our brother Larry Leggett, who always hooks us up with all of our Jack Daniels paraphernalia and all of that. Yeah, man. Josh, what you got something to partake in?
Yeah, this is a to-go margarita from Gringos Tacos, Casamigos and Nejo. We have a bottle of Casamigos and Nejo. We have a bottle of Don Julio 70 and
what kind of Sejo Huho?
A Nejo.
Oh, the Nejo.
It's not quite Reposado, but it ain't Blanco either. So and then we also got some Martell Blue Swift because
that Martell is true.
Yeah.
What we got here, Chuck?
Well, look, man, like right now, and let me do this. Let me reload. Reload this to make sure we got accurate numbers. And so where the place that we're getting our results is locally. Right now it's looking like Biden has 131 of the electoral votes. With Mississippi still showing red. But we're waiting for other states to come in and have their projected winner. But one of the things that I wanted to scroll down to, and I know we're gonna chime in on all of it, but just to get the numbers in there, man, Shallon and I have been looking at this one all night. This just happened. And I think a lot of those Republican absentee ballot districts or precincts are reporting right now. So I'm not necessarily losing faith for Mike to be able to win this and pull it out. But Mike was up like 50 some percent, man. Like 50, I think it was 56 or 57. And it was the reverse. So just seeing that right now, Sidney High Smith is up 55% to Mike Espy's 42. And then we've got these statewide ballot measures. Statewide measure allow medical marijuana. And you can see that it's doing quite well. You've got 67, almost 68% for either of the two. And then for Initiative 65, it's almost it's just over 74%, 74.21. And on the ballot issue number 2, and that's the state office elections. That one is passing overwhelmingly with 77% of the vote going for yes. And then for the flag referendum, the flag is getting the support just over 70%. And then we get into some of these the House District 1, 2, 3, and 4. One is Trent Kelly. He's coming in 55,000 votes, so 67% of the vote. The Dem candidate for that, Antonia Ellison, only at 32.23. So Trent Kelly is pulling in a lot of those. 28.6% of precincts have reported. So just remember, these numbers that we're sharing right now are only a percentage of all of the precincts having reported. Now, this is a person that we know. He's a Tougaloo alum, a Jackson State alum, U.S. House District number 2, Benny Thompson, the incumbent, and he's got 58.26% of the vote, and that's Brian Flowers coming in behind him at 41%. District 3, U.S. House District 3, Michael Guess with 63%, and then Dorothy Benford with 36%. And down here on the coast where I am, it's an uncontested race, and it will not be tabulated. But I did write my name in. Just for the record. Yeah. On the Mississippi Supreme Court, District 1, Position 1, Kenny Griffiths and Latrice Westbrooks. Kenny Griffiths is coming in just above Latrice Westbrooks with 51.73%, and she's right behind her with 48.27%. Another Supreme Court, this is Position 2, Leslie King, uncontested. This is Position 3, Mike Randolph, uncontested. And in District 3, Position 3, Josiah Coleman with 61.82, and Percy Lynchard with 38% of the vote. And then we got some House delegate races. Who is that? That's 87 unexpired term, and we've got Joseph Tubb, Matthew Connolly, and David Morgan. And Joseph Tubb is leading the bunch with looks like 81% of all precincts voting for that particular position. So let's jump into some. Y'all give y'all takeaways, your analysis about all of this. I mean, if we want to start at the top with the two old white men, We can do that.
Can we just not even
I
go
mean,
to the white man? I think that there's some local things.
yeah, I would definitely love to talk about the type of campaign that these particular people here in the U.S. Senate race. And then definitely we could get into Latrice Westbrooks and her opponent in the Supreme Court. I think that's what District 1 and 1. Yeah. So let's get it. And I'm gonna make this a bit smaller. Do y'all need to look at this or y'all what?
No, you good.
No.
All right, cool.
Yeah. But before we start with like all this, like pundit, stuff. I would like to acknowledge Mississippi Move and the work that y'all done, Mac, Chuck, in making sure that this election was accessible to all the people. That level of political engagement, that level of groundwork and organizing must always be acknowledged and celebrated in this moment, because it's still startling. Like I'm a real socialist, so if y'all hear me use words like the proletariat or bourgeois or
the proletariat, the working class, right? Ain't that right?
The working class.
Yeah.
But there's this concept called the lumpen proletariat we've been talking about.
Did you say lumpen?
Lumpen.
Okay.
LUMPEN proletariat. Lumpen proletariat. That there are several folks who are not even engaged in having a class analysis or a political analysis, and just the accessibility to all this resource, this knowledge, can be overwhelming for the day-to-day Black folk who have to think about their immediate, have to think about these bills that they got to pay and stuff like that. But for Mississippi Move to be engaged in the work that brings this knowledge to them and helps shape a narrative around their empowerment. I'm usually not one for the electoral dynamics no more, but whenever Black folks are doing the work to make Black folks engaged and Black folks having a level of power in this moment is always worth praising. So I just want to, Mac, your commitment to it, your commitment to it as a community organizer, longer than I've been a community organizer, and these are some long years.
Mac old as fuck.
Yeah. Mac, you old.
Oh, you didn't hear that part? You want me to repeat that? Get your little sips whiskey.
but no, like y'all's commitment to it, especially in the electoral process and engaging folk in it, just really has to be acknowledged. I was watching as you all had Rukia on about a week ago, and just asked like some critical questions, but just really just excited about the potential and just the continuous engagement of Black folks. So kudos to Mississippi Move.
Man. Look, we appreciate you. We appreciate folks that recognize what we've been doing. I know that I know Mac, you ought to take a moment to recognize the folks like Black Voters Matter and One Voice. Folks that as and the People's Advocacy Institute. So why don't you give a rundown, Mac, real quick before we jump back over to our election analysis in Mississippi.
Well, I definitely, like I started out, give a big shout out Sabir and the work that he does with the website and getting stuff out there, and definitely for coordinating transportation with the app and sending information. That takes a whole lot. Sabir was tired. Sabir was tired by 9 o'clock this morning. He was just overwhelmed from messages coming in last night and today. So we definitely thankful for all the work that Sabir does behind the scenes. And he still does IT work and still get out into the community and do organizing work. So that's really, really, really great. We got to thank Black Voters Matter. We got to thank One Voice Mississippi. We also have to thank the People Advocacy Institute for the work and collaboration. We kind of came together and without even being said, started supporting each other on things that we were taking initiative on. Rukia was really focusing on getting in the community, organizing the rallies, and also the notary part of notarizing the absentee We combined with them and put it on our connected our numbers, start pushing it. The Sean was pushing election protection hard. We said we're doing transportation, so we were sharing each other's information as needed. Because when stuff like this is happening on election day, we all get calls, and it might not be specifically for whatever you're offering. So when they call and say, "Hey, I need this. I got a complaint." We had a complaint about a school that they wasn't doing what they were supposed to do, so we had to call election protection line. So we definitely want to thank those folks that who have been working with us and not leaving out anybody else that has been doing a lot of the work. Definitely got to thank Ms. Danielle and the Poor People's Campaign. I always, one thing that Josh said, I always ask when I hear political officials start talking about the middle class. And I'm like, we don't never talk about the class of people that balances the economy or boosts the economy, which is the working class and the working poor, impoverished people. Those who pay the most, they buy more, they pay into the economy. When the pandemic hit, that's who you push back into work, and that's who you make your most money off of. And we never hear the plan like we need to hear from the working class people and definitely the working poor. And that's the whole thing about folks that make $15,000 a year are working below the poverty guideline, and things are never addressed for them. So you shouldn't have to work 2 jobs just to make a decent salary just to pay regular bills. You know what I'm saying? It should be something you want to do. Yeah. So thanking all the folks that did not name, all the other organizations that have been out there working in the community. They have been grinding. They have been doing events. They have been providing resources. They have done a whole lot of work. A whole lot of people have done a whole lot of work for this election. And our plan is not to end it.
Same question of you.
My bad,
again,
fellas.
folks are just
trying to get us
freaking. I'm just like,
update.
So
the next thing will be to keep while the momentum is high. You know what I'm saying? We need to go ahead and get in there. So we want to make sure we do that.
I want to Lynn. I mean, again, just such excellent work. I'm glad you looked at the Poor People's Campaign and Danielle Holmes, People's Advocacy Institute. Rukia is solid within our community. And what this is an example of is the opportunity for a deep level of coalition. I know that they're for everybody who's watching and knows the level of political history. There's some repair work that has to be done, but this moment has also shown the potential of really deep coalition building and united front building.
Right.
So I'm grateful for all of y'all and the work that y'all have done, and as an onlooker, as a participant, as a co-conspirator, I just am excited for how deep these relationships can be built and sustained. Got some folks coming down in November. There's if tonight's results are just appropriate. I'm gonna say appropriate because like I ain't gonna say it'll be good either way. But if they are in our favor a little bit, throw up both your hands, man. Like throw up both your hands because like at the end of the day, it's still gonna be 2 old white farts.
Did you see the Trevor Noah commercial?
No, I hadn't seen it.
It said on November 3rd, will America elect a old white man or will America elect an old white man? It was funny. It was funny, but something the seriousness about that when we had these conversations about what does America reflection looks like when it comes to leadership. And when it came down to it, you knew it was going to be 1 out of 3. Just being honest, 1 out of 3 old white men that was going to be president. It was a real tight between Biden and Sanders, and then whoever was going to win out of that group, it was still going to be 2 old white men running for the president of the United States. And we're talking about that in 2020, as so much is happening, and out of all the people that was on the platform that started out running for president, this is where we ended. So it's one of those things. So I talk about, yes, we say what we want and what we need, but is that really what you want? Because your representation does not reflect what your mouth say when it comes to that.
Well, like even on a deeper level, the analysis is like the United, like a few weeks ago, I put on Facebook like, "Dear United States of America, welcome to Mississippi," and that's the reality of it, is that you can't be a reflection of what you're not. And I know that there are these hot terms of Black, Indigenous people of color, but there has to be an illumination of our struggle. Black, Indigenous people of color, primarily, Latinx, also Asian Pacific Islanders. BIPOC is just a generalization when there needs to be like some level of specificity to our struggle. And so there's the capitalist usurpation of all these narratives that the Democratic Party gets to use. You see, like in moments of crisis for Black folk, you see the Senate members, wearing kente cloth and bowing their knees and throwing their fists up. I'm like, stop pandering and really, and really do some fucking organizing that is critical. And then if you do organizing, will it even reflect your power? And so the question is are white people ready to give up power? Are they ready to see those things? And the question is no. And so therefore we still get the same old tired narrative of two old white farts. But it's cool. I can't say too much because it's Green New Deal policy on the table.
Yeah.
And I ain't trying to lose my job. I got to feed my daughter. So it's Green New Deal policy on the table. Some of that just transition language is being amplified in a Biden narrative, although I feel like it's very contradictory to say Green New Deal and just transition policy on the table, but you still are critically and openly saying that you're not going to ban fracking. And I got some real questions for some Black folk, like the mayor of Flint, who's a Tougaloo alum, who in Flint, Michigan, has suffered tremendously from the fracking industry. Flint still ain't got clean water, and then we have to turn around and endorse somebody who's not going to ban fracking. And so those are questions for another day, because we're supposed to be running the numbers tonight.
Yeah. So for everybody just checking in with us, we got off on a little tangent, and if you want to know the topic tonight, the topic is election, of course, and we want to dig deeper into some of the analysis of the races that are happening over the state of Mississippi. We got off on the presidential tangent for a moment, but like we were describing, either way, it's gonna be two old white dudes. One of the old white dudes is gonna win. And coming into the studio right now, we're gonna add Jorge Reyes, one of our cast members from Mixed Messages from the Doghouse. What's up, Jorge?
What's going on?
Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. You got Mr. Mac, Josh, and of course me. And right now,
what's going on, Chuck?
We y'all want to go to Mike Espy, Cindy Highsmith?
Yeah, let's see what's going on right there.
Yeah. Let's see what's cracking on that end. I'll refresh this and then add it to the screen, and then let's talk about what do y'all think about Espy's campaign? What do you really think that do you think he did well, or what are some of the things that could have been improved upon, etc.?
Gonna be a bump up.
What you think, Mac? Jorge, Josh?
Well, I just think it's a hard road to hoe. If I could say
tough road to hoe.
It's really turning Mississippi when what I would essentially call the Kush district for a lot of political reasons.
And what do you mean by the Kush district? Because I remember Chokwe Lumumba referring to a Kush area, or the Kush plan and all of that. Is that what you're bringing into the convo?
Yeah. not just bringing it into the combo vote, but like like just really talking about the demographics in Mississippi.
Okay.
Like the Kush district stretching from essentially Benny Thompson's district and a bit further. I would dare say that the Kush district can stretch into upper parts of Louisiana to New Orleans and things like that, where there is the Mississippi Delta down through central Mississippi into South Mississippi, where we have a large demographic of Black folk. But there's still areas like the Pine Belt of Mississippi and North Mississippi that is still, dare I call it, Hicktown, hillbilly. Like, I mean, how many ways I can be disrespectful of white folk? In a short period of time, I got many. But I think that it's really tough because like they're really compacted counties that run into each other immediately. That I don't know if we have enough influence to really turn. Now I'm hopeful for Mike, but right now are like the results.
Yeah,
that we're
right now we almost at 50%, like 42% of precincts reporting. Cindy High Smith has 56% of the vote, and Mike Espy's coming in with 41% right now.
Let's hope that the counties, Hines, Madison, these large counties, and then the counties in Mississippi Delta are the last ones to come in. If not, it's just it's really hard to chart. It's really hard to be the white agro establishment of Mississippi.
I think one thing I've learned over the years in paying attention and understand the alliance where the predominant white community vote off of certain ideology and loyalty to whatever that may be, regardless if the person elect never show any type of improvement in their life at all, right? You were poor before that person became in office. They've been in office 20 years and you're still poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing of the matter for us, for the Black folks, we vote socially. Who's most popular? Well, who is most popular? Who we like the most? What we like about them? Are they relatable to me? What do I have in common with them? Can I understand? Does their lifestyle match with mine? Can I understand them? With this person, with somebody I would like to hang out with. That type of stuff, a lot of time I get from folks. I don't like him, or I don't like that person. I don't like why you don't like them. And so you're not electing someone to like them. You are electing based on their experience and what potentially they can do in the position that they are running for. But that's not what happens. So those are some conversation. I brought that up because for as Mike Espy being able to relate to the average person that makes $7.50, right? And some folks, no matter how he started out, where he grew up at, they see him and don't see themselves connected to him like that.
Okay.
And even though now, and just being honest, they could have picked a whole lot of more smarter, goddamn. If they wanted that white person in that position, they could have done a whole lot of hell of a lot better than picking who they picked. But you didn't even pick somebody smart or somebody that have the energy to do things. You just pick somebody, and as you can see by the numbers, they just supporting based on who to pick to represent them. It don't even matter what this person's capability and capacity they have to do what needs to be done or to help them. This is the I pick. This is who we support. Everybody come out and support them with no questions asked.
I hear that, Mac, and I think that we need to like really dig deeply in what I hear you alluding to the psychology of why people vote for who, because like in the grand scheme of things,
right?
Like the choice for Espy is the best choice for like it's late at night. I've been drinking. If I cuss, y'all forgive me.
We cuss on the Nightcap.
Josh, we've been cussing the whole damn night. What are you doing?
Okay, cool.
I cuss everywhere.
Cool. Well, like Espy is the choice for fucking Mississippi. The reason why, like,
and Josh, we agree with that. We just saying why people vote. No.
I want to do. Like, I really want to start at 92, 94, and I want to go back to fucking 80 to 280 straight up. Like, so that's essentially 12 to 14 years. Like, in that period, like, who was the director of Clinton's Agriculture Commission? Mike Espy.
Yeah, the person running for
like
yeah.
I like Mike. I've seen I respect him as what he's done for Mississippi. As Frank Figgis would say, he's become wealthy off of agriculture and maybe have never farmed a day in his life.
Yeah.
But I think that he will be in a position to give narrative and strategy for Mississippi in a way that prompts what we do best. And the reason folks, like specifically white folks, will not look at that critical information and vote for someone like Cindy Hyde Smith, who's just a Donald Trump ploy. Like I am certain that Cindy Hyde Smith gets to DC, goes to whatever little like apartment she got up there, and is never heard from again. and any real thing that the Senate does. But she came in a special election. She was the Trump propaganda ploy, and white Mississippians have been going with this fix since fucking Ronald Reagan launched his campaign for president in Neshoba County in fucking 80. And they speak to the poor working whites of Mississippi to say, like, well, the black folks are getting all the jobs and the black folks got this. Well, shit, the black folks live in the state's capital. The black folks live in the largest counties. Like seriously, like there is this level of always voting against your interests because of the base of racism, period. Right. And that's gonna continue to hinder Mississippi until we get some really good white boys who are willing to go and organize their community, who can leverage and use the analysis that y'all are poorish dirt. Like black folks aren't jumping over you because they can't. Like, most of Mississippi is poor. Most of Mississippi is the working class and the proletariat, and so we could better work with our own interests, with the interests of the poor and working class, instead of setting out some agenda that's going to cut subsidies, that's going to cut the opportunity to grow.
Now you get into the meat of it. Like, what's the outlook of if these things happen?
Like, farmers are going to continue. Like, we have an opportunity with Mike Espy that farmers across the Mississippi Delta, farmers across Mississippi can really, make some money and build interest, or they're going to continue to be bridled, continue to be hindered by folks like Cindy Hyde Smith. So
the other thing about it, Josh, is just even restructuring the business plan of why Mississippi bring in billions of dollars of food when we have all this land. And it goes back to our trade agreement and where we could grow our own and sustain our own. Everything we have, Mississippi has the capability to be self-sufficient. But we don't do it out of, I guess you say, cultural understanding, loyalty to whatever this higher being plan bullshit ads. It don't make no sense, right? So we talk about COVID, we talk about healthcare, we talk about affordable healthcare, we talk about all these things that Mississippi can lead and utilize the money and benefit from and help its people, but you don't, because you got to stick to this facade loyalty that you have, that you won't expand Medicaid, you don't want medical marijuana, you don't want a smart black man, even though he's the better person for a job, what a lot of people think or what people were saying, based on his record, right? Just based on his experience, you will stick with the person that you feel has more loyalty to whatever cause that you claim that you are representing.
Well,
and
look,
they're putting that forward.
Let's do this. I want to get Jorge in. I want Jorge to introduce himself and tell folks, about his background. Jorge's not originally from Mississippi.
No.
Like, and give us some insight on your take on how elections turn out, and just do your thing.
All right, cool. So originally came from Atlanta, went to Texas Southern, then transferred to Alcorn. Go Braves. And graduated from Alcorn in 14 with a bachelor's in music, 18 and a master's of education, and then made it to the coast in 15, and I've been living on the coast ever since.
Yeah.
My political background, you can basically say I'm a Democrat. Never really voted for a Republican, but as far as politics, this is a new venture for me. This is a new avenue of, I guess, my adult self trying to really play or really do my civic duty and actually learn what's going on, learn what policies are coming about. I can say that my first election was Obama in 08. I voted in 08, I voted in 12. And then my first local election was actually not until 2 years ago. So I'm actually fairly new to it, but reached out to a couple of buddies of mine that I actually trust and spoke to, and like, hey, look, give me some guidance. But I want some neutral guidance, not something that is right or left, but actually just neutral. Let me figure out everything.
Give me the analysis is what you.
Yeah. So with me, what I've noticed that I'm starting to lean towards more, and I guess is just the background in me. Education is a big thing for me. Medical is a big thing for me, and lately has been economics. And because I am a business owner now and a newly business owner as of last year. So those are the things that I'm leaning toward, or not leaning towards, but looking at.
Yeah.
And more so education than anything. Because I am an educator. I teach at a college right now. I taught high school. So I've been looking at a lot of that and seeing what people can actually bring to education. And unfortunately, I'm in Mississippi. I came from Atlanta, which wasn't on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to education. I was born in New York, which definitely wasn't on the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to education. Then I came to Mississippi, and I saw, we're on the bottom of the totem pole, but I see the struggle of teachers every day. But at the same time, I also see a lot of the teachers say, well, I don't care about elections. It doesn't matter anyway. And unfortunately, it happens so much. So that's what made me start to get into it a little bit more and just, trying to figure out. So I am I'm green to all of it because it is definitely new to me. And as far as historical, political stuff, I don't know, but I am learning and I am willing to learn anything. So if you tell me something, I'm going to definitely do my research and look on it. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Well, man, look, we appreciate you, getting involved and educating yourself to the overall political that we've been doing it, and I guess you can say you get it honest, and then at Tougaloo it's something that we always find ourselves like at the center of, or if we neck in and all of that, but then also like you said in your adult life, you know that policies are affecting you. So look, we appreciate you for one, jumping on with us tonight, and then two, wanting to learn about. And then what we can do from this is, each one go and teach one. Like, everybody tell somebody about, what's happening. So Josh said he's gonna be back in a minute. But Mac, I wanted to get you to jump back in, man, and talk about possibly. I mean, I went down to the medical marijuana. How is it that we can approve medical marijuana, right? Overwhelmingly, because I mean, we had what 67% on one side, and then the initiative 65 is 73%, but then we still voting for Cindy Hyde Smith. How did that happen?
Well, it's easy because some of the folks, even though they're conservativeness, guys, their judgment, they see the benefit of medical marijuana, right?
Okay.
And because they are probably in a position to make money off of it, and they want to utilize that position, so their position to make money overrides whatever, like I said, facade loyalty they have to whatever the cult leader is saying. But that's one of the main things. They're looking at more of economic side, or they actually might have family members that have tried it.
Yeah.
But see, it's nothing no different than the opioid epidemic, right? So that's something that's been a norm in the community where when you meet somebody that's say they've been taking Xanax since they were 16 and they're 32 years old, and they say it like it's nothing, that's normalized stuff for them. Marijuana is seen to be normalized in the Black community, but it really is not. It's more promoted or set up that way, but it actually is not, because who can get it more? Who has more money and access to get it? Who's less likely to be charged and have a criminal record if they utilize it? But it's utilized, it's promoted more in our music and our culture, lifestyle, for as media is concerned. But who utilize it more recreationally that you do not hear about? So when you start thinking about, hey, I can do this legally. Oh yeah, and I can make money off of it. And
I
so
mean,
it's
that's immediately what I thought about. I was like, I'm not an avid consumer of cannabis. I have friends and family members that are consumers of cannabis for a variety of reasons.
Be right back.
Go ahead, man. Me and Jorge, we'll chop it up.
Oh yeah.
Jorge, like, give me from the Latinx perspective, like, I mean, I don't want to make any generalizations, but
no, go ahead.
Would you say that the Black and brown community run together in terms of the impact of policies and things?
From what I'm seeing, yes. One thing that I am noticing though, the biggest difference, the Latin community or the Latinx community, they tend to look at immigration regardless if they are a citizen or not. Like me, I'm Puerto Rican. We're a citizen from birth, but we happen to look at immigration a lot.
Yeah.
Because people that we grow up with deal with that.
Right.
Me growing up in a Black community, immigration wasn't a thing. They had no idea about it. They don't know nothing about it. So that's one of the biggest differences where, as far as political views,
wasn't in the community that you were growing up in.
Yeah,
making visits. Okay, yeah.
But everything else, for the most part, it was usually the same.
Yeah, man, it's perplexing to me. You make common sense decisions.
Yeah,
as it relates to medical marijuana, but then you can't make a common sense decision for a person that's well qualified or overqualified or more qualified than the other. So it's one of those things. And I hear a lot of the sports pundits now that are digging into politics, the political pundits that are, the talking heads that are on the CNNs and the MSNBCs. And I've even heard Angela Rye and Andrew Gillum earlier tonight say folks are voting against their best interest. But because there was no party tied to the ballot initiative, it was there was no reason for them to vote against it. And we're gonna get Mac to jump back in here.
And to kind of go back on the marijuana initiative, honestly, I feel like the only reason why it hasn't been widespread in a lot of places because people who are in the higher ups haven't figured out how to pat their pockets when it actually makes it, how to tax it to actually make them benefit, in their pockets more.
All right, look at it like this. They did the same thing with alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like we are going through a prohibition, like that.
But the thing about it, I can't remember what book. It might have been Cultural Compass. I can't remember what book we were reading. I think it was Crisis. It was a crisis class. They put so much pressure on doing prohibition with alcohol, they started a underground syndicate with that. And it got more out of control than it was at first by talking about the war on alcohol. Just like they had a war on drugs, they had a war on alcohol, and it got worse. And they said the only way they can control it would be to make it legal.
Well, you know how they came up initially, how they came up with it to be illegal. Yeah, they did tests on monkeys, but they put them on gas masks and kept them for 7 minutes, 10 minutes at a time, and they were going brain dead. But that's like 7-10 minutes without oxygen going to your brain. Of course, they're gonna go brain dead.
Yeah, I don't know nobody that you know.
Exactly. So they did that, and it was just like, well, illegal. But I mean, and I think they did it on purpose because they couldn't figure out a way to just, really benefit them from it.
But look how they got it classed. Well, actually, my conspiracy theory, and I said there's no such thing because it's real live conspiracy. You destroy a whole culture of people, actually multiple cultures of people, by keeping it classed as a high control substance, and you are charging people with this. So not only do you put them in a position where they, for one, they lose their right to vote, right? That's one of the main things that happen. It's not illegal it's not the charge of marijuana that gets them. It's the other charge that you add to the charge of marijuana that creates the felony that prevents them from being able to vote. But also, it's said about money. Once that person do go to prison and come back out, you lose your fiduciary privileges. That means you can't do anything largely with money, like insurance, school, things of that nature for its funding. You lose a lot of things, and it definitely contradicts what they say about representation without taxation without representation. But it doesn't matter because look who it's affecting. It's only affecting the people that you utilize to fatten prison system anyway. So the average, I think Mississippi is like what, $53 a day, and you talking about a correctional officer making what? At one time they were making around $20,000, $21,000 a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So you think about that. So it costs $21,000 a year to incarcerate this man. And we are, and the whole conversation for people that are listening, we are relating different topics. Like medical marijuana is on the ballot, and we're saying why would people vote overwhelmingly for that and won't vote in their best interest for leadership that put things like that on the ballot or put it into place? It's based on, again, alliance. Mm-hmm. Medical marijuana, you see the benefit. It's money. Your alliance color is green.
Well, I'm just if it
I agree with that.
Green. It's green on both sides, right?
Exactly. If I can form a relationship with a Sabir, and I can form a relationship with a Jorge,
right,
and a Doc and a Mac, like it makes a whole lot of sense if we can make some money together that we need to be connected, right? Or if we can make a whole lot of difference together, then we should be connected. So right now we want to, highlight, Josh, you did this for us earlier. But Mac, you wanted to recognize Sabir. So I made him hurry up and get back to Jackson. And look at him. He trying to lay down, take a nap right now.
Sabir, don't sit like that, because we can see your membrane through your nostrils. Thank you.
If you would see how tired I am. How y'all doing?
You look tired as a bow-legged prostitute on Saturday night.
Man, look, again, man. That's a whole lot.
I said you look tired as a bow-legged prostitute on Saturday night.
You can't say that. It's sex worker now.
Sex worker.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Sex worker is amiable word. Like,
yeah.
He from home.
You're tired as a bow-legged redhead prostitute on a Saturday night. It get worse, so you might well stop talking.
You the only one talking back. Like you the only one talking.
You stop trying to correct it. This is real black and uncensored. Goddammit. Go ahead.
That don't mean you gotta fuck it. Hey, Sabir, this is why we wanted to bring you here, sir. We wanted to recognize all of the efforts and the expertise that you bring to the Mississippi Move Groove, and Josh gave us some glowing kudos earlier, and we just wanted to bring you here and recognize you publicly in front of all of the people that are watching from Black Widow Chaser and the Nightcap Knowledge. Facebook pages. So, dude, thank you. I don't know how you do all of what you do, and then the people that you engage, and the work ethic that they bring to the table, like the young lady Anik. She was good out there in the lineman community area, and that allowed me to move around a bit more, drop off water in different places. And Kroon is asking, why are prostitutes involved? Like, we're gonna take Mac. We're gonna keep it moving. But Sabir, you want to say anything about your experience today and all of the things that you do behind the scenes with technology in Mississippi Move?
Okay, first off, thank you. I appreciate it. This could not have been done without a first.
Sabir
don't have good internet. Like, what the? Like, hold up, bro.
Maybe his internet is tired for the day.
Oh, Sabir, you catching up? Are you connected to your Wi-Fi? Because I know
I'm on my Wi-Fi. Yeah, I'm on my Wi-Fi. It keeps dropping. All of y'all drop out and then it comes back up. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
But in any event, hopefully you can hear me now. Okay.
Yeah.
This could not have been done without a real serious joint collaborative effort with everyone. I really want to thank. We had a lot of different drivers. People contacted us from all over the state, different organizations. Who this was just a real serious deal. I'm sure each one of us on this call, I'm sure many of the viewing audience has seen a lot of the pictures of people standing in lines. Did you see the picture that WAPT put out of people standing in line on Natchez Trace? I've never seen that before.
No, I did not see that.
It was on the shoulder of the road. They were on the shoulder of the road. I think that was the Natchez Trace.
Natchez Trace. Ain't nothing over there.
Hold on.
I'm trying to think. It may not have been Natchez Trace. It was somewhere. I thought it was the Natchez Trace. Wherever it was, these people were standing in line on the shoulder of the road that I thought was the Natchez Trace. It looks like the Natchez Trace. If you've ever been on the Natchez Trace, you'll see what it talks about. And the line stretches as far as the camera pictures take.
What city was it, Sabir?
This was I think that was Ridgeland.
Tupelo,
I think it was. I had to find that article. But that's not the only picture. We were getting pictures. One of our dispatchers, Miss Trinity McLean. So it was Trinity. We had a mother-daughter team, Trinity McLean and Jackie McLean in Hattiesburg. Shout out to them. Jackie McLean works for the city of Hattiesburg, and she works in she's a manager for the crew that's there. And so this is what dispatching is what she does. And her daughter, we couldn't have got this done without the two of them helping to route it. But it's amazing watching this happen. I don't know about y'all, but the Guardian, I don't know if y'all can see it. While I'm looking this in, of course, we are nonpartisan and everything else, but the Guardian is keeping up a live ticker of all the electoral votes that are coming in. And right now, Trump is at 112 and Biden is at 209, according to the Guardian newspaper in the UK. So I don't know. My phone keeps buzzing and showing as it's going through.
We've been doing an update from the 16 WAPT local news in Jackson.
and it just updated as well.
Yeah.
To that 209 and 112.
We're gonna bring that back up and we'll check in there. What do you go ahead,
but real quick, this could not have been done without a lot of folks reaching out. Big shout out to many organizations. Black Lives Matter. Big shout out to so many different organizations. Fair Count for providing us those masks, because the folks that did come through, some people did not have any masks.
Yeah,
and we're not ready for masks. And so if we didn't have those masks on hand, that may have made this a little bit less safe than possible than what it was. But it is amazing that we were able to go ahead and have things be the way they are. And it's just really a blessing. It's really a blessing to have seen things do and go and be the way they are. And today was a huge undertaking. It's definitely got Mac, Chuck. This has been what, 5 years we've been giving rides? And this is now our second large election where we've stepped outside of the city of Jackson, right? Because last year's statewide election, and then this year
we started stepping outside the city in
18, right?
Yeah.
So it's been about second, third year that we've been doing that. We've gone outside the city and been able to do things, spreading a little bit farther than central Mississippi.
Yeah,
and so, but
and
this
we definitely got to recognize our transportation partners too.
Transportation folks, man.
We got to thank Mr. Michael Jordan Transportation.
Right.
He coordinated transportation. He was the one that reached out to all of those folks and said, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to find folks, and we are going to get people to the polls." And this is what they do every day. They usually are getting paid to go to doctor offices and hospitals and pick up patients and take them back and forth. And this is what they did with us all day. Was transport people to the polls. So we definitely want to give a big shout out to Michael Jordan Transportations, and all the folks he was able to coordinate. It was Owl, Liberty, and
Liberty, Universal. Man, we've been calling them all day. And then even like people that don't even belong for transportation organizations. Right. We had folks that were able to, so that we did not have voters that were stranded at the voting precincts. They went ahead and we did not lose. We didn't have people stranded there. We had folks that would go pick up individual people waiting for lines, but while the major transportation folks went ahead and picked up the larger orders or the larger
groups.
Yeah. So that was tremendous. So there was no contribution that was too small.
Yeah.
And also for us, I want to give shout out to the Holiday Inn in Hattiesburg. We're gonna DJ Price and Miss Annie rather. They and their staff were very hospitable to us doing dispatch and made us doing our work a lot easier. We could not have got everything if it weren't for their hospitality. So big shout out to them.
So Sabir, let me ask you this question: what areas did we receive phone calls from for rides that we were not covering, if you can remember?
Yazoo County.
Okay.
We did get Yazoo County. We got Yazoo County. So there were two people in that area. We did have some folks in Kemper County. Kemper County. We had someone call from Tunica. We did have someone call from up in Tunica, Robinsonville, specifically Robinsonville. Where else? We had a couple of people as time ran out, where some of the folks, Chuck, Anik she was already on her way back to Jackson.
Yeah.
So, and a couple other folks, we just weren't able to go ahead and get everybody in. So a lot of it sometimes, and I hate to say this, but a lot of folks we had been trying to push the number all day. Some people, for whatever reason, did not schedule a ride ahead of time.
Yeah.
They could have called us at 8:00, scheduled the ride, still had their day, and had someone pick them up at 6:15. Because we stopped answering the phone call at 6:30, because at that point we couldn't. 6:30, 6:45, we didn't answer any more phone calls.
Yeah, we want to go back to you and then get you.
We weren't gonna be able to get you there.
Yeah.
Right.
Chuck, look at Hines and Holmes County.
All right. That's Yazoo, Madison. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Hold up. All right, there we go. Here is Hines County, 10% of precincts reporting.
And Holmes is up.
Yeah, and then Holmes is what?
Right above that.
Right.
To the right. To the right. That's Holmes,
0% of precincts. What's up with that, man?
Kyle listening in Durant.
Hey, man, we still do stuff old fashioned, baby. They counting that by hand.
They doing smoke signals up in Holmes County.
But I do know from earlier that we had set for Holmes County being as small as it is, we had 1,800 absentee ballots, which is a lot for our area for Holmes County. So we have a lot of land, not a lot of people. So 1,800 ballots for us absentee, and people have been showing up in large numbers also in Holmes County. So hopefully we'll get those numbers pretty soon. So you said Hines County, we only had 10% reporting in Hines County?
Yeah,
10%, 40%. Yeah, I'm looking at those percentage reported. Yep.
10%. Wow.
Sabir,
This is
real
still
quick,
anybody-
how many rides do you think we provided today with Mississippi?
I have not counted. I'm gonna, in terms of rides, because we had several instances where we had multiple pickups.
Individual,
we had 2 or 3 people. We had a significant number of people that called in from Meridian. We had 2 sisters that had children. Each of them wanted to vote while their mother watched their kids. And then an hour and a half later, they came and swapped out.
Okay.
The mother went to go vote while they were at home. And so they planned that out. They planned that out perfectly.
That's a voting plan. That's
planning. That was good planning. They set it up so, the kids will not be at home. We did have a few folks. Unfortunately, we were not able to pick up any rides. We had folks that had tender age children. We were not going to be able to pick those up just for a pick up those voters for a liability issue.
Yeah.
Because of that. And so some folks were a little sad about that. And we were like, hey, don't be sad. Because at this point, it was like 2:00. And we were like, look, if you contact us, we'll be here. If you contact us, you get someone to hold you, to watch your kids for a couple of hours, because you're going to be in line wherever you're going. You're going to be in line for a couple of hours. But if one thing that this election and the people that called us had we seen today was that planning, whether or not you call us early enough to schedule, or if you go ahead and do absentee. Because this is in my life, I've been voting since I was 18. This is the second time in my entire life I've ever voted absentee. I had never thought about it until last year when we were down in the Pine Belt for the statewide election, and this year. This is the second time in my entire life I've ever voted absentee. And so I think that's one thing. That's one thing we wanted to do. Mac, Chuck, this is something that we talked about at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The power of the absentee vote, especially for college students that are on campus but ain't from their hometown. If you ain't from Columbus and you have no idea what it is, if you have no idea what absentee voting can do for you, if you from such and such, whatever, but you go to USM, you could have done absentee vote.
Yeah.
That's how I did my first 2 elections.
Right.
Hey, Kroon pointed out something. So we actually have done rides to the polls before. We just wasn't as consistent as we were now.
Correct.
So in 04, we did rides to the polls. We did a whole Move to Vote tour, concert, and everything.
HBCUs. That's when Move first started in 04.
08, we did do that too. We did get rides to the polls in 08.
Right.
So we were, for its consistency, just for the last 5 years, we have been doing it consistent. We're getting folks to the polls, no matter what type of election it is, because it is very important. We talk about that. Jackson's 112 square miles. So if you live out here where I am and you vote off of Northside Drive or over in Bel Air, then how you gonna get there if you don't have any car? Because the bus doesn't come out here. So
we had a blind man, a visually disabled person. He contacted us. He lived literally 2 miles from his voting precinct at Collins Funeral Home in Jackson.
Yeah.
But we were able to pick him up. He was like, I don't have anybody to escort me. I can't get anybody to escort me. No one's coming. I can't do anything else. Can y'all give me a ride? Because we looked it up on a map. I'm like, literally, it was like 2.5, maybe 3 miles.
Right.
But of course, he's visually disabled, and anyone that's from Jackson has driven on Northside Drive. You don't want to be able to walk on Northside Drive with sight.
Hey, bud.
Right.
Hey.
You don't want to walk, You don't want to walk on Northside Drive with sight.
Right.
Look,
so
try down.
We were able to get him picked up and got him going.
That's good. That's good, man.
I think there's a lot of victories in the effort that was made. And that's why I was saying we don't want to wait till we lose the momentum, the energy. We want to take a little break and get right back on organizing and planning for the next election, and doing things that matter, educating small pockets. We like to do a lot of social events and educate people at the social event. People come to the event, they have a good time, listen to music, they let their hair down, and then they are more open to receive the information that you are giving. There are a lot of folks that are doing a lot more serious events. So the people that are focused on that, you're going to get them. but we got to have things done in a variety so that we'll be able to reach the people, so they can be able to make the best decision and understand the capacity of the position, the capacity of the person is running for the position. I think that's a lot of times one of the biggest things that we don't understand is how does this person affects my day-to-day life? And the smallest thing, like what Sabir is saying, is that don't matter if you can't get to the polls. It does not matter. There's people that are wanting to go vote. And I understood this. My great uncle, and Uncle Jesse said this today, and what you said, Sabir, he's 85. And this year is the first year he ever had to vote absentee because he was in the hospital. And he's 85 years old. He remember when we got our rights to vote and everything. And he has been voting in person. He was looking forward to voting in person. He was looking forward to being there at 6:45 in the morning when they open the door to vote in person. And for a lot of the folks, especially that 60 and older, this has a lot of sentimental meaning to be able to go to the polls and cast that ballot. They can see themselves as a child walking with their parents. And remember when folks were really standing out there trying to prevent them from to go vote, and now they can go do it. And they have a different understanding. And a lot of us, we understand it now because we've been talking to them. We've been listening to them. We've been sitting with them. And that energy is passing on to us. And we are like, we understand why this is so important. And because we're looking at what's happening now in society, and we know that all these positions that everybody's doing whatever they're doing, it always come back down to somebody that's elected. And I stated before, it was an issue with whether it's white terrorists wearing law, and I say this all the time, white domestic terrorists wearing a law enforcement uniform. I don't want to label a police officer that jumps in the pool to save a baby and call this some bitch that don't have the testicle fortitude to do anything to a black man or a Hispanic man if he's not wearing a badge. Right. So if he wasn't wearing a badge, then he wouldn't even think about running up on Chuck. But now I'm gonna threaten Chuck with going to jail. Why? I feel like a big man, because of his impotency, and jump on Chuck and do something to him. So I think that person, even though the chief is appointed, the mayor appoints the chief. So elections are very, very important, and the small things of getting people to the elections. In my precinct, I walked up and down and passed out snacks. Shout out to ADZ chapter of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated Jackson for the snacks that they donated. We were able to give snacks out. I passed out so much stuff that somebody held my spot in line when I went and got my truck to come back and pass out more water and more stuff. That's how long I was there.
Yeah.
But those things was beneficial to people. People were thankful for those things. Yeah. They were determined to sit there.
Yeah, it made the voting process more comfortable for that day.
And to kind of go back to you, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Ray.
So to go back to what you said about actually going in and voting in person, today I made it to the voting poll at 6:45. Two people in front of me, it was a guy that was 76 years old. Two people behind me, it was an 80-year-old man who could barely walk. But he said he wanted to stand in line and walk because he remembers the time where he used to get beat up for trying to vote.
Oh.
And he was just talking about that. And we just talking to him. The lady that was right behind me, she was 75. And she said, I could have voted early. I want to stand in this line. And she was a white lady. The other two gentlemen, they were black gentlemen. And just looking at it, a lot of people were going like, y'all could have voted early. It was more senior citizens today that I seen in the voting line than younger folks. Right. And I went there early because I wanted to get it. I wanted to stand in line. I wanted to do that. I want that experience. That's something that I just want to do for me. But to see that and to see them hold that so dear, it makes you just it does something to you to go out and vote. You just have to, because you see these people who at one point they lived in a time where it was frowned upon for you to go vote, or got beat up for trying to vote, or so on and so forth.
It could cost your life.
Yeah.
Well, not just your life. It's your family's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But here's the thing about it. This is the first year in a long time that someone has physically tried to oppress and prevent you from going to the polls.
I've seen Tea Party. I've seen Tea Party elections. Let's not act like the South ain't the South. And then
No.
intimidation has not been around for a long time. Like Jorge, your story is grounding and I respect it. I hear it. I respect it deeply. Shit. At my precinct 47, the the bourgeois of Northeast Jackson.
Goddamn.
Like
The
shit,
bourgeois of the
like
bourgeois.
y'all talk about it was 37 degrees at 6:45 this morning.
Yeah.
Wasn't no way I was going to vote.
It was 46 this morning.
But I've been voting in my precinct. I'm 33. I've legitimately been voting in my precinct and know the poll workers, everyone, since I was 18 years old. And so, I know the peak hours. I know the swell hours. Man, at 12 noon, wasn't nobody in there. I walked right in there. There was a young brother who was having some contest because he was actually registered in Rolling Fork, but he was trying to vote here. And I just wanted to tell him, brother, just stay, and they're gonna figure it out. They're gonna let you vote affidavit. And the sister came out with the affidavit. I was like, yo, I had the Chantry Clerk's number up just behind. I was standing behind him, just like, yo, if
Hey, we
I
need
knew
that
he
note.
wasn't gonna have a problem, but if he did have any problem, I knew that I could help you post this moment. But behind me was this old ass white woman.
Yeah.
I'm just certain she wasn't be progressive and asked me, did I give any two fucks about this woman and her voting process? No, I did not. And so I'm sorry, now I used to take my grandmother. My grandmother voted in the precinct at Rowan for years and consistently into her 90s. She passed in 96. We took her to vote because she was born in 1923. We understand the historic and symbolic nature of what it means to Black folk to express this measure, to express this constitutional right that folks have struggled for. We know what it means to express that. But where we are in this political landscape, I really think that it's really important that we dig deeper. That if Joe is leading at this moment, and I'm gonna get an update real quick. We need to be ready tomorrow or whatever. I'm not certain if this is going to be a clear election tonight, but we need to be prepared to say, Joe, listen, you said some stuff in your campaign that Black folks are just clearly not standing with. We want people to defund the police, and if you don't understand that the police can be defunded, let's have a divestment campaign or a divestment narrative around the police. What does that mean for police? Because I know it's little old folk who we need the police. Well, F all of that. But what we can do is decentralize the police, make the police community central. We can make the police have to be accountable to a community tribunal. Not an internal investigation, but community investigations. We can put the police under our power, and if that's not going to be on the agenda, then that's not good for Black folk. And if we labored, if we took off work, if we did all this stuff because we thought that you were a better opportunity, then we are willing to push and change whatever your agenda you have. Climate justice needs to be climate justice and its interconnectedness to justice for people. Black folks shouldn't be living in Cancer Alley in Louisiana. We shouldn't be frontline communities. We shouldn't be the spaces where you put all types of extractive industry in our communities. These need to be within our agenda. We need to consider ourselves front lines. We need to take this opportunity, just like we expressed today, this united front, this coalition building that y'all did that coalition building needs to stay together in a sense that we are thusly pushing greater agenda and greater understanding of what's really politically at stake, not just whomever is going to be in the White House. Because both these suckers are capitalists, both these suckers on the side of empire. And what our political analysis should be is like, yeah, like we learned from our ancestors. We learned to get representation in this key, in this manner. But our representation means so much more than that. Our representation means you can't allow anything to happen to black people. Police have to stop killing black people in droves. Your prison industrial complex has to cease. And we can have real conversations about what it means to abolish the prison system. We can have real and direct conversations of what it means to center climate justice, as this is all of our living planet and we need to participate in it in a way. But like I'm gonna check there because I'll go off on a tangent. I do think also that, again, that this isn't gonna be called today. Like 209 to 118 at the moment. I'm fearful that Donald Trump is gonna pick up Ohio. He's gonna pick up fucking Pennsylvania, and that's gonna put him back in the swing of things.
Who about to pick up Pennsylvania?
Huh?
No,
who about to pick up Pennsylvania?
You already got PA.
No, we don't.
No, bro. Biden got Pennsylvania. Biden got Pennsylvania.
Go to Pennsylvania.
It ain't like
Pennsylvania.
Zoom in.
It's still 50%, I think.
Yeah, but Biden gonna get Pennsylvania. Now Trump might get Florida, but Biden about to get Pennsylvania. Ohio is gonna be a game changer. Michigan's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, Michigan is gonna be.
Well, you know which way Texas is going.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Zoom
in function is not working.
Well, actually, no. Texas is the dark horse. Texas is actually gonna be a dark horse. Yeah, Texas is going to be a dark horse. I want to say something real quick that kind of speaks to something that Kroon was saying in the chat. Because, Skip with Kroon talking about some wake up Sabir. Sabir left Jackson. Sabir woke up at 3:45 a.m., drove to Hattiesburg, set up, worked the dispatch, and drove back to Jackson. So Sabir is probably about to go to sleep in the next 90 seconds.
Oh,
but one thing that you were talking about intergenerationally. The one demographic, I completely agree. Everybody that contacted us was either calling for someone that was a senior citizen, that was a pioneer, or was a pioneer themselves. And I'd have to say better than 85% of our phone calls today were pioneers. I can tell you that without a doubt. Some people wound up getting picked up by other people. Very few people that called in for rides were under the age of 50. I'll put it that way. And that right there speaks to the importance of, I can tell you that's not a rough demographic. I'd say that's about a 90% accurate. Not even looking down the list right now, because I can't read that much right now. My eyeballs are about to shrink inside their head.
Yeah.
But I'd have to say, I can tell you right now with very strong certainty, better than 90% certainty, 85% of the people that contacted us were above the age of 55.
Yeah.
Better than 60% of those people were above the age of 70, or were being called for. We were getting rides for people above the age of 70 on their behalf.
Yeah,
that speaks to a whole another hat when we start talking about geriatrics and I guess more like the Epps Institute type of understanding about caregiving. It's that someone is that age and really don't have dependable support to call them to do things that they need to do.
Yeah,
because we've had people ask if we could swing them by places because they don't have a ride, they don't have the money to pay nobody. And by the time you pay an Uber or something like that to make all the stops you need to make, your money is gone, right? And it definitely is very disheartening of why we have our seniors in that position. So I can't say, because, and I'll be the devil's advocate here, that The person we see now that's 75, we don't know what transpired at age 25 and 35 or 45. The reason that they don't have a lot of time, they don't have a lot of support to get things done. Have they declared it?
Yeah.
It looks as if 16 WAPT has declared Cindy Hyde Smith the winner of the U.S. Senate seat where she was running against Mike Espy and Jimmy Edwards. So even if Mike had got, this little sliver of vote,
he still would have been enough.
Yeah.
The fear factor. Here's the thing: is the fear that he strikes in them, and goes back to what true white supremacy mean. CJ hit it right on the head. The worst thing, what's worse than a white man with a penny is a nigger with a nickel, and what speaks the volume of economic justice is when we can level the playing field and creating our own income and sustainability.
That's what I do. That's what we do. Like,
that spoke fear to them, because in their mind, it's like for us to have, they can't have. And one of the greatest fear is that we got into power, that we're going to do to them what they've been doing to us for so many years. And
but we're more humane people than that. And what the opportunity, like,
speak for yourself. But go ahead.
Okay, well, like, like, whatever. I'll speak for myself. We still have an opportunity in Mississippi to get that type of economic opportunity and economic justice, but we have to do it with the concept of what is the alternative. Black folks need to be, in the mindset of production and distribution. This is why I created Black with No Chaser. This is why I created I Got It Made. If Black folks can control those means for themselves, then I think that, we begin to add alternative to that analysis that they have. The analysis is, if Black folks get, we don't get. And so, that's the unfortunate thing. Another day where Mississippi has again voted against what is its best interest, for the interest of racism, the interest of capitalism, the interest of imperialism. I do want to raise out, just one question, because I'm about to go, because Green got the green. What is the concept of Initiative 65? Like where are we on that? Did it win? Because again, Green got the green, and I'm about to go and get.
So it looks as if 65 will be passed.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think we are where we need to be for Initiative 65, and the same thing goes for the other down ballot initiatives. That's Measure 2, statewide office election, is 77%, with the 66.18% of precincts reporting in this. Similar for the flag referendum. So it's safe to say that Mississippi has definitely voted for a new flag and voted to move forward with medical or medicinal cannabis.
I will buy a flag tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
I ain't gonna do all that.
I mean, I ain't saying all that. Did y'all see me on the front page of the Clarion Legend when I was like, the flag must come down? Did y'all see that?
I did not see that.
No, we didn't see that, Josh.
But look, I want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all gentlemen for chiming in with us tonight. Jorge, of course, Sabir and Josh, on behalf of Mac and I, the host of the Nightcap Knowledge.
Why? Go to bed.
And we gonna kick it off. We're gonna roll out like this, man.
Yeah.
It's been another magical evening. Nightcap Knowledge is on the way out.
Look,
see y'all next Tuesday.
Be a part of your history.
Jacktown,
Mississippi
Magic.
Instantly, I start thinking, projecting happiness mentally, like me on the ticket, and you excited to get to me. Who the greatest? They mention me, and I'm their biggest fan. Always known to bring that bounce like I'm Timberland. They say they see me getting bigger, ain't that been the plan? Been across the nation and rocked. I'm Jackson's jigger, man. I ain't a mirror created, make me lesser than. I promise to make it work, never perfection, man. Only way I'll stop is for a better plan. Till then, I'm aiming to put some platinum on my letter, man.
We appreciate y'all once again.
I could never be if you ain't all in.
Bro said, great show. We appreciate you, Q.
Hey, Mr. Bubba, we hope you get better, man. We're gonna keep the prayers up for you, Mr. Bubba.
All I need is lights, camera, action. You bring the energy and I can bring the passion.
Prayers up, prayers up.
Stage, make it happy.
It's that Mississippi magic.
All I need is
Shout out to DJ Cocky Jockey, wherever you are.
You bring the energy.
All right,
and I can
we appreciate y'all. We out of here.
The sound in the stage, make it happy.
Peace.
Mississippi magic.